Hi, I'm Everett. Welcome back to the shop. This is part 2 of the dovetail blocks that I'm making for Chris over at Just1Guy Metalworks. In case you missed the first part, he's making a taper attachment for his lathe and needed a matching set of dovetails that would work so he could attach it to his cross slide. So first part, we got our male dovetail block made up here, and so now we got a chunk of scrap. I think it's A36, and we got to zip it apart and make a female dovetail block. So hope you find it interesting. Next step is we need to make the female side of the dovetail slide with all its features, and we're going to try to get it out of this. I'm pretty sure it's A36, but that's just a guess considering where the rest of the material came from. It came from a place that did a lot of, pipes and pipe flanges and stuff like that, so that's my suspicion, is it's A36. But again, lots and lots of mill scale, so we got to get rid of it first and try to get a semi-square block out of this in the end. Lather it up and off we go. Let's go 25. I wonder if something moved. Alright, well, not entirely sure how Bozo snuck in here, but for whatever reason my nod was a little bit off. So, let's take another couple skims off here just to get this flat and call it good. There we go, that's better. It's actually a pretty reasonable surface finish too, so I'm content with that. I'll have to take the burrs off there, but see the crosshatch there, the crossover where the two tool paths crossed over each other. You can actually, I can't really feel much of a transition between the two apart from it's a little smoother in the middle, so that's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, I gotta deburr that. Okay, now that I know I have my nod issue dealt with and it's making nice flat surfaces again, I'm just going to finish squaring up this block. You've seen lots of other people square blocks before, I would suspect, so I'm just going to get this to the point where we're going to start cutting features on it for the female block. So I'll bring it back in once this is pretty much prepped. Well, back at it a few days later. We're in the process of moving right now, so the shop's a bit even more of a disaster than usual. As it is, they had to move the toolboxes already because I had an opportunity. So I'm now working with a little tool tray of stuff that I brought back from the other house. It's just, yeah, just crunch time to try to get this stuff done before we actually have to tear the machine area out of here. Realistically, it'll be a few months before I can get the new place set up for being able to work in. So, I'm just trying to get this stuff done, people have asked me to do before we move. So, or before moving's finished anyway. On the block here, the lines are set out for the layout as far as rough cutting. I'm going to rough down to, we need to go down to 3/8 of an inch for the groove here. I'm going to get close to the lines but not touch them so that then I can finish off the cut afterward. to the actual width. This corner here is my reference corner, and I'll be making measurements over pins for the dovetail when it's done. So I'm just going to rough this down, get the groove taken out down to 3/8 of an inch, then we're going to start our dovetail. Helps if you turn the machine on. All right. I probably could go deeper, but at this point, I'm safer to run conservatively. Try to avoid major bozos because I don't have time to redo this block. I do need to get a few more end mills. This 3/4 I know is getting a little dull. I mean, it's still cuts, but it'll be okay for roughing. Yes, we have ragged edges, I know. I'm just trying to cut myself, but that's the basic idea. I'm just going to keep cutting this down until we get it down to, they're grooved down to depth. You don't want to watch me make that many passes. I may try going a little deeper depth of cut, we'll see. Again, it's experimentation with this at this point. Well, I got the dovetail cutter in, we're cinched up, just about to touch off on the bottom and on the side. What we're going to do is we're going to go to a measurement of this reference corner to the outside of the pin. I just did the math, and what we're going to need is 1 inch 191 from this corner to the outside of a 1/4 inch pin. That's running off of our diagram here. So I don't know if you can see that there. So a bunch of chicken scratching, rough math, whatever with different things. We need 1 inch 191 to the outside of the pin. How I arrived at that is I took from the reference corner 2.794 minus the 1 inch 0.48, took that figure, subtracted the 1.461 from it, got 143 thousandths, or sorry, basically 285, which gives us 143 aside. Add that 143 to the 1048, we get a 1 inch 191. It should work. Now when I grabbed a tray of tools from the new shop, well, the toolbox, the new shop anyway. It's not really a new shop yet, and it needs to be finished out. I did manage to remember the nicotinometers. So, I realize not everybody uses them for nicotine, but that's what I'll refer to them as. There. So that is our 0. Speaking of nicotinometers and other sorts of things used in them, I've never even tried the, well, I don't smoke, and I've never tried the other stuff. Crazily enough. Crud, I'm from BC and I've never tried this stuff. Alright, now we should theoretically be able to start this up, and I'm just going to take that off so I don't mess with it. Bring it in far enough that I can just start touching the wall. There we go, we're just touching the wall. That is going to be our 0. Another 20. Starting to take a bit more, so let's take 15. It's becoming a bigger chip. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, is I'm going to pause the camera. I'm actually running out of card. I want to make sure I can finish this project with the cards that are in the cameras, and because my other cards are at the other house. So I'm going to pause it here and I'll bring it back and we're just about done this side here. I have to say, Randy, you make really nice tools. Just get the swarf out of the way there. 1/4 inch pin. Well, good quality end mill anyway. See where we're at. We're getting close. Aha! Alright, we are 1 inch, 198. 197.5. So that means we have 6.5 to 7 thousandths to come off. Alright. It should put us within about 1,000. I have to say, Randy, you make awesome tools. Survey says, I don't know if you can see that from there, 1 inch, 90.5 thou. I'm within a 1/2 thousandth of where I wanted to be, so I will take that. Now I'll set up for the other side. Yeah, we'll call that our 0-ish. Start with 20. And do just like we did before. The trick is doing this and not getting myself in the shot and in the way. Again, I have lots of passes to make. I'll bring you back in when it's closer to the end. So at this point, we're making progress on the other side of the dovetail here. I just want to check and see where we're at. I know we're not getting to where we need to be yet, simply because the height of the flat portion here, again, I don't know what the technical term is of it, that's much taller than it is, or wider than it is on this side. And in the drawing, we only accounted for giving a little bit for that, for the thickness of that, or width. So we're looking for 1.461, 1.431. Huh. I just about had a heart attack there thinking, it's too small. It's supposed to be small. I'm kind of tired right now, so sometimes my brain gets a little jumbled up, but yes, we have about 30 thousandths to go. I'm thinking to myself, oh no, 30 thou over. So yeah, no, we're good. All right, let's take another sanity check, even though I know I would fail a sanity test at this point. Granted, I'm not sure if the sanity card that I was given a few years back saying that I'm sane, I'm not sure what the credentials behind that were. 1 inch 451 and about 4/10. So well, in other words, we have roughly 10 thousandths left to go. 2 more passes. That theoretically should have it. All right, I'm just going to carefully try to hit it with a file here. Try not to lacerate myself. All right. Hey, hey. And no, it's not too loose. Chris is going to be making up a gib for the one side of this. You got clearance on the bottom. So we don't have any rock either side. There's space in here for him to make his little gib and stick it in there. In the original plan, talking with him, what we were thinking of doing was I was originally going to, when I cut these shoulders here, drill and tap the holes for his for the gib retaining screws. I think I'm going to leave that for him. He's got a drill press, he's got a vise, he's got all that stuff. He can do that part himself and choose what size of screws and things he wants and where he wants them. So what I will do though is I'll finish by cutting down the shoulders here. They need to come down about a ½ inch. Next step is to cut the two shoulders. I'm going to start with the side without the gib for a reason. And again, I realize this end mill is a little on the dull side. It's not horrible, but it's a little bit. Thing is, I burnt up my good end mill on the nail block. You know, for being dull, it actually is still leaving a reasonably nice finish. I'd love to get a tool and cutter grinder at some point. They're prohibitively expensive, especially out here. It's harder to find tooling than it is, say, as far as Canada is concerned. It's easier to find tooling in places like the Greater Toronto area or BC's Lower Mainland, perhaps in some of the more industrial areas of Quebec, but especially since the oil field kind of took a beating, a lot of stuff got sold off and moved elsewhere. Again, I just have to make successive passes. It's going to take me a while to get down to ½ inch. My apologies, but I was going to bring you back in for the last couple cuts, and I described everything and made the nice cut, and then realized I had not pressed record. So this back face here should technically be done now. I'm just trying not to lacerate myself on the bit in case I need to take anything else. I don't want to remove the bit from where it's sitting. Yeah, and oh, I can just barely feel that. I can just barely feel the difference between the two. That will be acceptable. Barely feel it. I don't think Chris is going to complain about that. So now the next step is to cut this front shoulder the same way so that when this block is sitting happily in its little home there, that the front edge here should feel reasonably flush with the edge there, edge of this feature. Alright, so after a number of passes for roughing this thing, we're down to about 10 thousandths left to go on this face, and we're going to fit it up to see where we're at for this front face. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, I like that fit. Jamming it up against the front there, the precision digital ruler, roughly about 25 thou or so to go. All right. I'll do a better deburring once it's off the machine and I'm less likely to lacerate myself. Yep, there we go. That is exactly where we want it. Yeah. See, I like that. You got the space there for a little gib. Yeah. So there we go. There's our female dovetail block. I'm just going to hit it up with a file here and you can have it. Well, apart from a few little things that, a few little fit and finish things that I'm not 100% happy with, but I mean, overall, I would call that a win. I'm happy with that. It's they slide together nicely, and still have that 1/8 of an inch back and forth, so he can make up his little gib strip in there. As I say, I'll leave the cutting of the screws on this face here, and cutting the screw holes and tapping them for set screws to hold his gib strip in. I'll leave the gib strip and that to him, because I don't know how he wants to mount this to his lathe. But one way or another, thanks Chris, thanks for your patience. Sorry it took a little while longer than I thought it would. Otherwise, for everybody else, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't been over to Chris's channel, by all means pop over, give him some love. I'll leave a link in the description below. He's a pretty funny guy. And, you know, I've had a few good visits with him on the phone. He's just a cool guy altogether. So seriously, go check him out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you all for all your support. Thanks everybody. See you next time.